I think we're still trying our best to get Barbara on the line, but don't forget, we're trying to hear the Supreme Court case brought up by the National Democratic Congress challenging a High Court ruling that which ordered the Electoral Commission to collate and re-collate parliamentary results in 6 constituencies. These legal battles stem from a December 20th decision by the Accra High Court, which directed the EC to finalize and announce results in Tema Central, in Sawam Adwejiri. Let's go over to some of the high street jurisdiction parliamentary elections. We just watched proceedings at the Supreme Court. What is the latest update? What can you tell us?
Okay, just like you rightly read to our viewers, this morning's hearing at the Supreme Court is hinged on our parliamentary candidates in just ended elections, general elections, whose election results and collation declaration have been in dispute for the past nearly 20 days after the elections. And we are here this morning because they said a ruling made by the High Court last week Friday, which was 20th December, had injured them gravely. It has injured their right to being heard by the court. And this is the big factor of the case is that the constituencies you mentioned to our viewers, there were disputes over the collations and declarations of the election results in those areas. And so they went to the High Court to have with an application for mandamus, that is to compel the EC to do a recollation of their respective constituencies, the results in their respective constituencies, so they can be redeclared. And so on that same day, there was another application by the NDC for the court to review the result and collation of those the same constituencies, the result and declarations of the results, election results in those same constituencies. But the thing was that during the hearing on that Friday, the court had the mandamus of the NPP. And then NDC, the PCs for the NDCs in those constituencies brought a rejoinder to join the suit filed by the NPP PC. But the court did not grant them hearing because the court said the applications were not served on the NPP applicant. And so the court could not grant them the wish to join the suit to be heard. And so after the court had given its ruling for the EC to recollate and declare the results in those areas, the NDC came to the Supreme Court to have the court quash the decision of the High Court or the High Court, so that it can based on the decisions they have raised in their suit so far. So basically, that's why they are in court this morning. And in court, all the sides or all the parties in the suit, that is the EC, the IGP, and then the NPP MPs have raised or have argued their respective reasons why they are opposed to the application by the NDC PC, the affected PCs. For the NPP PCs, they say the joinder application by the NDC at the time was a non-starter because the mandamus application was to a specific public body, and that is the EC, and not any private person or an individual. And so the CA47, which guides the election or which guided the election, specific means by which a person who is aggrieved by such an action could find remedy, and that doesn't include a joinder. And so the joinder at the time was a non-starter and shouldn't have even been applied for in the first place. According to the EC also said that the application that the Supreme Court by the NDC MPs did not include or indicate how the orders of the court, the High Court, injured their respective human rights in any way. And so they did for the application to come to the Supreme Court. And if they were agreed by the order of the High Court, the best remedy or the specific remedy should have been an appeal and not the Supreme Court to have the court quash the decision of the High Court. So far, this is what has happened in court. We are waiting for the court. The court is gone on break now, and so we are waiting for them to hear exactly what they have to say about this matter after hearing it.
Are we expecting them to come back? Was there any communication?
No, not yet. We don't know when they are coming back, but we know they'll be back today.
So what should we?
If we are getting a ruling, a determination of the matter today, we can't tell that exactly as well.
Okay, but how is the atmosphere? How is the atmosphere like currently?
Oh, it's a friendly atmosphere. Yeah. The police are here. They are putting things in order. There's nothing. The place is just quiet. Everybody is in a light mood. You can see the parties. I mean, the affected parties. Chit-chatting with each other and all that. At the end of the day, this is politics. But personally, they are friends and all that. So there's nothing. It's just a quiet and good mood generally here.
Thank you so much, Barbara Kuma, for that update. We would get back as and when they come back. Thank you so much. That was my colleague, Barbara Kuma, with that update. Let me just take you back. The Supreme Court today is hearing a case brought by the National Democratic Congress challenging the High Court ruling that ordered the Electoral Commission to collate and re-collate parliamentary results in 6 constituencies. This legal battle stems from a December 20th decision by the High Court, which directed the EC to finalize and announce results in Tema Central, in Sawom Adrejiri, Ablekuma North, Anon North, Techiman South, and Okainkwe Central. Also, let's give you a background. There's some key highlights for going to the court. The NDC filed a motion at the Supreme Court seeking to invoke its supervisory jurisdiction to reverse an Accra High Court's order to the EC to collate and declare results of 6 disputed parliamentary elections. Also, NDC is seeking an order of prohibition restraining the EC from collating or re-collating, counting or recounting and declaring results in the 6 constituencies. The application is also asking the Apex Bank for an order of interlocutory injunction restraining the EC from collating or re-collating, counting or recounting and declaring results in 6 constituencies. It is also seeking to injunct the IGP from providing security for the unlawful exercise of collation, counting and declaration of results in these 6 constituencies. We will go back to the court as and when the sitting begins. That's all for now. So we will be back as and when the sitting begins again. Thanks for your time. Good afternoon.